Matrices Method. In this video we're going to look at how to approach non-verbal reasoning questions that ask you to complete a matrix. In these questions you'll be shown a grid that is filled with shapes. The grid will have patterns running through it that connect the shapes in each square in some way. This pattern-filled grid is known as a matrix. The plural of matrix is matrices. The matrices you're shown will have one empty box. Your job is to identify which of the answer options should fill it and complete the matrix. The best way to approach these questions is to start by looking at what the shapes in the matrix have in common. You'll need to use what you find to work out how that pattern or patterns runs through the matrix. We can think of a matrix like a sequence in a box. The sequence doesn't have to only move in a straight horizontal line, it can move around the box in any direction. Look at this sequence of shapes. What can we notice? All of these shapes are the same shape, but they are positioned differently. This shape is a 90 degrees clockwise rotation of this shape, which is a 90 degrees clockwise rotation of this shape. So in this sequence we have identified that there is a pattern of clockwise rotation. What about these shapes? They don't look like they have that much in common, so maybe we need to identify something that is changing. The arrow has 7 sides, the hexagon has 6 sides, and the pentagon has 5 sides. In this sequence each shape has one less side than the shape above it. We have found a second pattern. Let's now consider these two sequences within a matrix. We know our patterns, so we can extend them and complete the missing boxes. We can see that across each row, each shape is a 90 degrees clockwise rotation of the previous shape, and that down each column, each shape has one less side than the shape above it. We've got two patterns moving through the matrix, one horizontally, and the other moving vertically. There are lots of different patterns or links that might connect the shapes in a matrix. We will need to think about these when we are looking for a shape to fill the gap and complete the matrix. As with the matrix we just saw, the shapes could be linked by numbers. Can you see how numbers link the boxes on the right of the screen? Have a go at counting the number of lines in each box. Moving across a row from left to right, a vertical line is added. Moving down a column, a horizontal line is added. The pattern running through the matrix might be to do with the colour of the shapes in it, or, like in this example, their pattern. If we take a look at one of the rows, what can we see? All the shapes in the row are striped, but how they are striped changes slightly as we move further along each row. The stripes get further apart. Looking at the type of shape or size of a shape might be the key to finding the pattern in a matrix. Take a look at this matrix on the right. What's happening? We can immediately see that as you move down a column, the shapes get smaller. All of the shapes in the matrix are smaller than the shapes above them. Let's also look closely at these 3 diagonal boxes. We can see that within these 3 boxes, all of the shapes are trapeziums. The type of shape is the same in each diagonal line, and because of the size pattern that we have already identified, each trapezium is smaller than the trapezium diagonally above and to the left of it. The patterns in this matrix are based upon shape type and size. We might need to consider a shape's position within a box. In this matrix, the only difference between each of the triangles is where they are positioned within their box. There is a clockwise pattern in this matrix. As we move clockwise around the 4 boxes in the matrix, the triangle moves clockwise between the corners of the boxes. Sometimes the pattern in a matrix will be based upon symmetry. You can imagine that the lines in a matrix are mirror lines. Ask yourself, are the shapes reflected across them? Top tips. When answering matrices questions, you will need to look carefully at how the shapes in each box look, and how they're positioned. Work through the questions methodically. Each time you identify a pattern that is running through a matrix, use it to rule out options. Keep looking for patterns until you are left with one answer. This is the option that will fill the gap, and in doing so, complete the matrix.